You won't get far unless you try. Right now, I'm here and now, won't leave your side. We were meant to take it all. Now I'm here, I'll never go. We can rule the world. Together we can make it ours. Yes, we can rule the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Fireside Chat with Kayla Itsines, brought to you by the Connected Women Australia team. We are so excited.
Before we begin, I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of these lands on which we virtually meet and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters, and community. I pay my respects to them and their cultures and to elders past, present, and emerging. I'm joining from Sydney today, so I would also like to acknowledge the Gadigal of the Eora Nation.
Thanks, Mel. And a little bit about us. So I'm Katie and I work at Google and also co-lead Connected Women Australia. I have been a Kayla devotee since the Bikini Body Guide launched.
And I'm Melissa, working alongside Katie at Google and co-lead at Connected Women Australia as well. I'm also a proud owner of the OG 2014 Bikini Body Guide PDFs.
It's where it was at, the PDFs, we love them. And now for the moment that we've all been waiting for. Famously from Adelaide, Kayla is a global fitness phenomenon, entrepreneur, author, and mum to Anna. She is the co-creator of the original Bikini Body Guide and leading health and fitness app Sweat, which recently sold to iFit Health and Fitness. Kayla is passionate about helping people become healthier, stronger, and confident. And in our fireside chat today, we will be asking Kayla about her journey to grow a multi-million-dollar global brand, being a fitness guru, and also a working parent.
Hi guys.
Kayla! How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you with us today for this fireside chat, very much anticipated. But before we jump into the questions, we thought we'd do a quick fire round of a couple of quick questions with you. So I hope you're ready.
Okay.
Nothing too hard, don't worry. Are you a morning or an evening person, Kayla?
Morning.
Yeah, I would have thought that. What TV shows are you binging at the moment?
You, season 3.
I literally just finished that last night and it's very intense, I will say that.
Okay.
What is your most used emoji?
That one.
Nailed it. And what would your superpower be and why?
Teleportation, so I can travel. We're in Australia. I'm in Adelaide. Like, we have not gone anywhere. I literally, if I could click my fingers, I would be gone.
Yeah, I'd join you on that one, actually. I'd love to take a trip and not have to get on a flight to do that. So yeah, that's a good answer. And what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, so much. Best piece of advice. I think just to not focus on vanity metrics and focus on listening to the community around you and really deliver on what they want and what they need. That was probably the best piece of advice. And especially, I think we'll talk about that probably. I'll end up talking about that in this chat, no doubt. But that was, that hit home for me.
Oh, that sounds like it would have really resounded. Well, that wraps up the quick fire round of questions. I'll pass to Katie.
Thanks so much, Mel. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into your journey, Kayla. So starting from the beginning, can you tell us a bit more about your journey from training women one-on-one in Adelaide to being the co-founder of a multi-million-dollar global brand? We'd love to hear about this journey.
Well, from school, I had no idea what I wanted to be in school. I wanted to do something to do with sports. So I moved into personal training, and I also studied university to do teaching because I had no idea how personal training was ever going to be a career for me in the long term. And I think my family was quite concerned as well, to say the least. What are you going to do when you're 70? So I went to university, I studied, I did personal training, and I started just working in a personal training center for women. So I've only ever worked with women. From there, I went and did mobile personal training. So I would go to people's houses, women's houses, and I would train them one-on-one and show them how to train in the comfort of your own home with minimal equipment, which kind of sounds pretty familiar. And then I had my own personal training center, which was actually in my parents' backyard, where where I would train my own clients because I didn't want to keep traveling to them. They wanted to come to me. And so I did that for a while. And then from there, I started up an Instagram page to showcase the success of my clients. From there, I had people following me from Melbourne, from Sydney, from Perth, asking me to train. I ended up writing a note on my phone and copy and paste it to everyone saying, I'm so sorry I can't train you. I'm from Adelaide, but if you're ever in Adelaide, please feel free to come through and I'll train you. And from there, my partner at the time said to me, well, Toby said to me, I think it'd be a great idea to create maybe an ebook for these people. And I said, no one will buy it. No one will be interested. Like, and I ended up doing it, put it online, and it's what you guys know and love. So it was BBG, the original that everyone did, everyone sent around the world. And then from there was a request for an app, and the app was called Sweat with Kayla. And then it was just me by myself. And then we had Sienna and Kelsey on there. So it was then Sweat. And now it is what it is today, which is a huge global fitness app for women, and all from the comfort of Adelaide. I did that.
That is absolutely incredible. I had goosebumps at that story. Thank you for taking us through that. I know Mel has another question for you, focused on your story as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such an exciting journey to take, and to like really expect nothing from it and then for it to blow up and become such a big thing. I mean, that's just incredible. I guess as you look back on the journey you've had so far, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you had to face, and how did you actually overcome them at the time?
Oh, look, guys, so many. This is when Instagram was just starting. Facebook was not just starting, but I didn't really know about it. I was in year 12. I was 19 years old. I'm 30 now. So I'm navigating. Not only am I trying to build my own website and release an ebook, which right now is the easiest thing to do, but back in the day was so hard. I'm moving from a single purchase, service to a subscription business, and I'm doing it with my partner and no one else and no help. And the stupidest thing that I did, and the thing that I regret, was just not asking for help. So like there were so many obstacles that could have been avoided if we just reached out and asked for help, but we didn't know what we were doing. Like, I was great at personal training. I love helping people and making people feel like they have a sense of family. But do you think I know how to build a website? Do you think I know how to build an app? Like, I had no idea. It crashed so many times, so many complaints. So yeah, they were just obstacle after obstacle. We just overcame every single one of them. And I'm so glad we sort of like, it's like when you make food from scratch. It's like, you're so glad you did it. Like, it's a lot of work, but like, you know how to do it next time.
Yeah, for sure. And it tastes even better when you get to enjoy it at the end, because you know you put your hard work into it, and those little blunders that you had, but you can definitely enjoy that moment.
Absolutely.
I love that analogy, like making food from scratch. I'm definitely going to use that one. In a really similar vein, maybe we'd love to know, if you had the time again, like what would you tell a younger Kayla about business and growing a brand?
I would say to stop and celebrate and enjoy the wins, and stop focusing on what's next. Like, yes, you have to listen to your community. You have to listen to what they want, but you also have to take a second and celebrate what you've done. It was always, everyone else was celebrating for me, and everyone was so excited for me. And it was always for me. I was always like, okay, this person wants this. What's next? What's next? What's next? Where can we go next? Like, what can we do? Like, how can I help this person? And I drained myself of all my energy helping everyone else and not helping myself. And I was tired, I was exhausted, and I could have done with a little bit more sleep and a little bit less stress, but I just wanted to help the world. And I still would do that, and I don't regret it, but I needed to stop and celebrate wins with the right people.
Yeah, I love that. And it seems as well that just having that mission, you were so relentless, you just wanted to make sure you could achieve it. How is that how's your pace changed now? Because obviously you have the same mission, but you kind of mentioned that, you would do things a bit differently now.
Oh, now there's staff and and there's my big family, and then there's Anna. There's different priorities and different levels of help that I have right now. So it is totally different from when we started. Like, I don't have any regrets, but the pace right now, it's faster than ever. But I have the right people around me to help, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, I think that's such a good lesson as well for people who are listening, who are starting a brand or looking to go for that promotion, is just having the right people around you, whether that's a mentor or, a support network. I think that's a great outtake.
Yeah. definitely takes a community sometimes to bring a dream to life. So yeah, and I think that speaks volumes to your achievements as well.
Yes.
Can you share one of your favorite pinch me moments that you've had in your career so far?
Oh, guys, like you got to remember, I came from a big Greek family, but from Adelaide. So like I had never even traveled before I started work. So my first trip overseas was for work. So my pinch me moment was getting on a plane, going overseas, meeting people. Actually, you know what? My biggest pinch me moment was my first boot camp. I've told this story many times, but I haven't told the story about the meet and greet after. So like my first pinch me moment was obviously walking in and seeing 2,000 women in a place, and they wanted to see me and they wanted to work out with me. And I was in a different country and had no idea what was going on, but I was so excited. But after I did a meet and greet, and I really sort of woke up to what the world is really like. I think I grew up in a bubble with this perfect Greek family surrounded by food. I never had, this complex with food because there was always so much of it and it was used as a celebration. And I always had this really great connection with, fitness and exercise because I grew up playing basketball. And I was like, how can you not love food and fitness? And then I realized it's such a chore and effort. It's so triggering for the women and for their lives, and they didn't have the family that I had, and they didn't have the support that I had. And I realized really quickly that I had to grow up and stop being so airy-fairy with everything and stop realize that I lived in a bubble and actually learn and educate myself on other people, other cultures, and how they are raised and what they do. So it was a big eye-opener for me, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds like it definitely would be a bit of like a culture shock in a way when you're like surrounded by so many people who actually don't feel as motivated as you would feel about exercising and getting up and doing a intense workout to get their body in shape. But that's fantastic to hear that you've been able to grow the community and be a part of their journey as they begin to love working out.
Yeah, I love it.
100%. Kayla, you've definitely got me off the sofa many times when I really did not want to work out. So you're incredibly inspiring.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. So many of our audience will be looking to start their own business, or they're entrepreneurs, or they're kind of entrepreneurs within their business. So they're looking to take the next step, get that promotion, make that kind of career move. What actions would you kind of share with them to get the ball rolling for starting their own business or like taking the next big career step?
I think it's really hard. I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that starting a business nowadays, you feel like everyone's doing it when you're trying to start. You're like, everyone's doing it, and then you have an idea and someone else has taken your idea. I think like some of the things that I say, and I think they might go over people's heads because they've heard them so many times, but it's so important to hear and reiterate that you have to be passionate about what you do. You have to love what you do, because the more you love what you do, the more passion you have, the more likely you are to show up every single day and go through those hard times. The less passionate you are and the more focused on money and vanity metrics, like I was saying before, this is likes, how many likes are on your thing and how many views are on your things. The more you focus on that, the more you tend to get, unmotivated and uninspired by what you're doing. So less about money, more about what your passion is. Find the problem that people have and solve it. So for me, my problem was a problem that I sort of opened my eyes and looked around. There was nothing for women in the fitness industry. I'm weird to say right now because everything seems like it's targeted at women. But back when I was young, oh my God, I sound like I don't even know can't believe those words.
No,
But when I was 19, it was like men's programs altered for women. Like you go into, all the sports stores and it was all men's clothing and the girls' clothing was upstairs. Like it wasn't like, or you'd go to the gym and it's like, oh, I'm going to the gym. Oh, why? Like, why are you going to the gym? There was no gym clothes. You'd had to wear like your partner's baggy t-shirt. Like there was nothing. Like it sounds so weird to say now, but I swear, guys, listening to this, like you'll remember, like Lorna Jane was like a big thing because she released all this sports clothing. Like you weren't allowed to wear sports clothing out to like a restaurant. Like no, like what's wrong with you? That was back in the day. Like when I was 19, it was like, no, what are you wearing sports clothes for? So yeah, I just saw a problem and I fixed it. Well, I feel like I fixed it.
You definitely fixed it. I love that recommendation is, find what you're passionate for and really not worry if other people are starting businesses around you as well. And activewear is definitely like none of us can do without it. So I think that's a really good insight as well.
It's gone from activewear definitely to like athleisure as like a new style of living where you just get around in your activewear now. You've definitely made it cool to do that, Kayla.
Thank you. I remember actually I was walking around when I first started one of my first trips was to San Francisco, and this girl came up to me and she's like, "You make me feel normal for wearing my sports clothes to brunch." And I was like, "What?" Like, and she's like, "I think Australia is a little bit ahead when it comes to that, but like it was a big thing here that you weren't allowed to wear your sports clothes to brunch." I was like, "That's literally all we wear now." Like if you wear wear normal clothes, everyone's like, "Why are you wearing normal clothes? Like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going?"
Yeah. Why'd you get so dressed up?
Yeah, why'd you get so dressed up?
It's so true. Well, look, I'm sure the audience is also very keen to hear from you. What's next for you from a brand perspective as well?
Oh, okay. So, oh God, there's so many things I want to say.
Spill the
So,
beans.
Spill the beans.
I wish I could. So, as everyone knows or has heard, Sweat Soul 2 has been acquired by iFit, which is absolutely incredible. So, I encourage people who are interested in where the brand's trajectory is going to research a little bit into iFit and all the amazing things and brands that iFit own, because they're very much aligned with what Sweat wants to do globally, wants to maybe integrate into. I can't really say too much, but there are so many amazing conversations being had at the moment and so many things that I dreamt of as a kid to be able to do, that has now just become a reality for me. And what I can say is it is so beneficial and so helpful. It will be so beneficial and so helpful to so many women around the world. So I'm really, really excited.
Oh, we're so excited as well to watch this space, and it's such an exciting time for you. And congratulations on being acquired by iFit. That's such a big achievement, and I'm sure it means that the business is just going to go from strength to strength from here on.
Thank you so much. Yes, I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think we're all really excited to see where it goes as well. So we'll all be watching very closely. So shifting gears a little bit, we'd love to know, from a well-being kind of perspective, what are your tips for integrating work, juggling parenthood, and also juggling like self-care as well? I think this has become so much more important, especially during the pandemic. So I think our audience would love to know kind of your tips for juggling it all.
So I always say self-care is not a face mask. It's not like it's not a warm, bubbly bath. Like self-care is like getting up every single day, trying to set a routine, having a shower, like trying to separate your work life to your personal life, even in a pandemic where you're working from home, like sorting out your priorities. I feel like it's so easy, and especially in what we went through over the last almost 2 years, everything becomes jumbled and you become so stressed and you lose track of what's work and what's personal and what do you talk about and where do you go, where do you work out, and where is your space. Like there were just so many things that it was horrendous for so many people, and I cannot even imagine, and I don't even know where to start. But for me, juggling everything, it was all about routine for me. It was all about getting up at the same time every single day. And even though you're stuck in your house, like you're still up every single day. You have your meals at a certain time. You have your kids organized. Like it felt like Groundhog Day, and I get it, guys. Like it was a nightmare for everyone, and for some it still is. But it was about setting a really, really good routine and separating that work life to personal in your own house. It's crazy.
Yeah. I love that. Routine is, definitely where it's at. I think that's a really good recommendation. I wish I could be a little bit better, like not going to bed at a certain time, but that's just me.
Yeah, but like, you know what it is also? It's like, it's not about having like a diary, because some people don't work like that. I do not work like that. I cannot have a write down diary. I look at all these people and they've got this like little whiteboard where they write everything and it's all perfect and pristine.
Yeah.
That's not me. Me is like, I have like certain things that I need to do. So I have must-haves that I set for myself. So I must speak to my family. I must have a shower. I must do 5 or more emails or whatever it is, or 50 emails or whatever it is. Like I'd have my must-haves, and then I just go, like everything else sort of sets around that. And that's what my routine is. It's not having a perfect little diary and everything organized and labeled, because some people aren't like that. So if you're listening to this and you're like me and everything's not labeled, everything's not perfect, that's fine. Have a list of must-haves. Do your must-haves, and then everything else can work around that.
I love it. It's like ruthless prioritization with must-haves. I'm definitely going to take that tip.
Yeah, for sure, because I'm definitely guilty of that too. I don't write down what I need to do day to day, but just having a routine definitely, I think, helps a little bit just to break up everything else and make sure everything doesn't collide into each other at the end of the day. But on that note, I guess, do you have any guilty pleasures that do help you reset once in a while?
What counts as a guilty pleasure?
Oh, anything. For me, mine is chocolate and sweets. I won't lie. Like, I know you're all about the healthy eating, Kayla, but for me, I love having a sweet treat at the end of the day sometimes. So that's my little guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So my thing that people don't know about me is like I force treats and sweets and anything upon my friends and family. Like I don't even call them guilty pleasures. That's literally my life. Like if I go to my grandma's house, I call her Yaya. If I go to my Yaya's house and she has a cake and I say no, like I don't even want to even think about like the repercussions of that. Like I cover my head because I wait for like the backward slap across the back of my head. Like do you know what I mean? So like I think that that's just food to me. That's just my life. So I don't have guilty pleasures. I just eat. Like I don't even sleep in. Like I think I'm a bit psychotic. I think it's just my life.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Do you know what? That's actually very similar to like Indian families. If you're not eating, they get pissed off at you and then you get a slap across the head.
Absolutely.
You get shunned from the family. So you just got to eat it all and just enjoy it.
Yes, food is celebrated in Greek culture. Like if you do something, like there is a big feast. Like everyone comes together and eat. Like the more you eat, the more you're loved. Like growing up Greek was good. Was very good.
Oh, I can only imagine. That sounds like a lot of fun to be surrounded by family and good food.
Absolutely.
Definitely. That's the perfect recipe. Kayla, we have some questions from our audience. So we have a question from El Hadshah. She says, I think Anna is the cutest baby I've ever seen. How has your perspective changed since being a parent?
Oh, completely. Honestly, like I used to be so harsh on my mum clients. They're like, oh, like I was like, you're late. They're like, yeah, but like the baby did this. I was like, no, but you're still late. Like now I'm like, oh my God, I totally understand. Like I will reschedule you. I will come in on a time that I'm not even like working to come. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm so much more understanding. I'm so much more patient. I'm so much more like I want to help more. Anyone that's having trouble with their kids sleeping, I'm like, I'll help. Like it's changed everything. Everything that used to annoy me does not annoy me anymore. Everyone's problems seem like this small when your child's sick. Like it's just like it's crazy. Your whole life changes. They say your life changes, but you have no idea.
I love that you're also offering sleep training techniques. Be careful, people might be calling you in. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I think there's massive changes as well. We have another question from Mia O'Brien. So Mia has actually asked, you've been really open about your struggle with endometriosis. How did that impact your mental health? And what would you say to other women battling it?
So I won't lie, it really, really sucked. So I'm a person who uses exercise as a stress reliever, something that makes me feel powerful, something that makes me feel strong, something that makes me feel confident. And then you have endometriosis and you have your surgery and you're out for weeks and weeks on end and you can't work. And you can imagine as a person who uses exercises to feel all those things, all of those things came crashing down. So it was a lack of confidence, a lack of motivation, a lack of empowerment, a lack of basically everything. I just felt horrendous, to be honest. And it was just like you had no control of your body. I was having cyst after cyst burst. Like I had no idea. At one point I had forgot I had endometriosis. I was like, what is going on? I feel like I have no control of my body. So it's just basically having your surgery, having really good doctors, listening to your doctor and getting through it. And I did. And I'm so happy I did. And I'm so happy I'm still able to train, but it's not a reality for many women. So it is really, really hard.
No, and thank you for sharing your story and being so open about it as well. I think with endometriosis as well, just hearing female role models actually speaking so openly about it is going to have such a positive impact on other people who are suffering from it as well, because it's a really, really difficult disease.
It is really hard.
And now we have our final audience question. This is from Kat Long, and she is actually an entrepreneur. And her question is, how do you stay motivated in both a business and a fitness sense?
You have to be so, that's what I said before, you have to be so passionate about what you do. You have to be, otherwise you will literally just crumble. And that just sounds so harsh, but I'm still a personal trainer. You guys are watching me literally do my job. So I haven't gone and swayed out of like where I started from. So yeah, how I balance it is I just stay passionate, I just stay focused, and I just listen to my community, what they want, and then I execute. That's all I do. So you literally, if you take anything out of this, if you don't love your job, leave.
I love that.
Do something that you love, because you have one life. You have one life. So be passionate about what you do.
I love that. Anyone watching, Kayla told you need to follow up on it as well.
Quit today if you're unhappy. I actually love that too, though, because I think it goes a long way when you're doing something you love. It gives you every reason to wake up every morning and just be out there smashing goals, doing things that you're actually enjoying, and makes it so much easier for you and everyone else around you too.
Absolutely.
Well, Kayla, that brings us to the end of our Fireside chat. A massive thank you for sharing your wisdom. It was incredible to hear from you, hear about your journey, hear about juggling parenthood as well. We've really appreciated all of your pearls of wisdom. So a massive, massive thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love speaking to you guys. And thanks for everyone who is listening and who's going to listen to this. I love chatting to you guys about this stuff. So anytime.
Thanks so much, Kayla.
Thanks so much, Kayla.
Guys,
have a good day. See you soon.
You too. Bye.
On the screen now, you'll also see a QR code which you can scan to provide feedback on today's session. We would absolutely love to hear from you all and know how we can make these events even better in the future. We're also excited to have our tentpole event for Connected Women Australia next Thursday with founder and CEO of Business Chicks, Emma Isaacs. Head to the Connected Women Australia page to register today. Thanks, and we hope to see you at our next event. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.